Yo, everybody, it's here. I'm ready to bring the pain for you this week and for drroto.com. If you haven't been over to the site yet, what are you waiting for? Go check it out. We got a new look. We got new tools. We have new optimizers, and they are smashing. You definitely want to get there right now and before football starts so that you can be ahead of everyone in your league so that you have the best chance to win a championship. Dig it? Let me talk to you. Yeah. Woo! So, why I'm calling this Bring the Pain Together right now today is we're going to skip the IBD talk and we're going to talk two mock drafts that I did most recently. I had the first pick in one draft and I had the fifth pick in another draft, both 14 team and Snake, of course. That's the way it was. And let's see how I did. All right. So, listen, I ended up coming away with two different stacks that I didn't really plan for, but it's the way that the draft kind of just fell in to itself. So if you're in these positions, that may play itself out for you. So then by hearing this draft and seeing how it went, you might have these players available that you like and want to have on your team. And that is what we do at drroto.com. We make sure you're prepared and we make sure you know how to bring the pain. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, the first draft I did, I was the first overall pick. So, of course, I went with Christian McCaffrey, man. Everybody was there. I wanted to do this a little bit. However, if I would have picked Ja'Marr Chase at this point, it would make difference with what follows up after this. So, as I moved along, of course, being the first overall pick, by the time it even got to me again, being 14 teams in this expert mock draft, which we really know that a lot of the pros and experts aren't in these drafts. You got any Tom, Dick, and Harry just showing up, clicking the button because they want the next draft, thinking they can draft with people like Hit Overrod. Dig it? Nope. You ain't digging it because I'm one of the best. Oh, yeah. Wow. So I picked McCaffrey first, right? So by the time it got to me, I knew that I was going to have that back-to-back pick. And when I saw Joe Burrow, because quarterbacks, Mahomes was already gone, Allen was gone, and of course, I'm not playing this league. It's a mock, but I wanted to do it. So Joe Burrow, Higgins, and Mixon were all there. I picked Burrow and Mixon back together, back to back. And now we have McCaffrey, we have Mixon, and we have Joe Burrow. So we have a solid running game and we have a better quarterback, definitely a quarterback that's going to be able to keep up and ball with the other quarterbacks and help you win a league. So right now, that's really it. So it's like, all right, got to get the receiver. But I had to watch all these players go. By the time it got back around to me, I got the double pick. I ended up going with Calvin Ridley. May have not been the best to pick, but I mean, you were looking at Calvin Ridley, Brandon Cooks at this time, et cetera, et cetera. And then I followed up Ridley with James Conner. So now I have three running backs, a third running back for the flex position. Now, you ask yourself, are you really want that many running backs on your team? Well, yeah, you got to start at least two running backs. So now that you have three, you can definitely move him in and out when you have a bye week. Whatever way you need to do it, you now have three starting running backs or starting quality running backs in Mixon, McCaffrey, and Conner that can definitely help you win a league. And everybody talks about right now, they're all enamored. It's always, you've been hearing it. Zero running back, whatever. No, it's not always about zero running back. It's always not about, if that's the best player, you got to pick him up. You can always get a Brandon Cooks type receiver. So I got Ridley. When I came back around, I ended up getting Freiermuth and Michael Thomas, and that rounded out those picks. There's no reason to go any further. That's how it just worked out for me. But so when you take a step back, you've got your three running backs, again, going back to McCaffrey, Mixon, and Conner. And now you have your two starting wide receivers, which is Calvin Ridley and Michael Thomas, if he even stays healthy. I mean, come on, Michael Thomas. You said you made the Twitter. You can't guard me. Can't guard Mike. Nobody has to guard you, bro. You ain't even playing. The only thing that's guarding you is your lawn chair because you're sitting in it, bro. Okay? You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. Now let's get real, right? And you get your good tight end who's going to definitely get targets. Showed up at the end of last year, has been definitely, Muth has been doing it consistently. He's not one of the best tight ends, but there's no reason he can't be like the next Kelsey. Maybe not on that special level, but he could definitely be an A-type player. He's getting the ball. He's scoring when he needs to. He's definitely part of that Pittsburgh offense. You definitely want to. So let's get the so I'm going to consider that a Bengal stack, right? Because I did have a chance at Ja'Marr Chase. So if I would have just went Ja'Marr Chase, came back around and got Mixon and Burrow, I practically have the team. Now, is that always the smartest thing to do? No, not really, because when you have a game that, get 13-10, you got the AFC North, Pittsburgh's defense, Ravens defense, Cleveland's defense. You might not score a lot. So stacking some of those games might be hard, but both those players would be great. I would be definitely happy with Ja'Marr Chase, Joe Burrow, and Joe Mixon. You have one at each level. You have a star. They're all together, and they can go off. But what ended up being McCaffrey, Burrow, and Mixon, which I do like a little better. You're going to definitely get the touches as long as McCaffrey stays healthy. We get over to the next team. So team 2, I saw the 5th spot was open. I was looking for a 6, 7, kind of in the middle of the draft. I saw 5 was open. I took 5. So I was like, all right, let's do it then. Right? So got my first pick. It's Cooper Kupp, man. Horns up, Ram Nation all day. Oh, yeah. Probably the only Ram worth drafting, but I picked Cooper Kupp. Wanted to see how this worked out. Knew I didn't really have to wait a long time now, being the 5th overall pick for it to come around. So I'm kind of going to have a pick every so often, which is nice. And so my next pick, I decided to get a little ballsy. I went Josh Allen. Normally in a draft, I wait on my quarterbacks, but I wanted to see how this was going to play out. I wanted to push the envelope. I wanted to tread waters, swim through them, looking for them shark fins. We're not looking. We're trying to bring the pain. And guess what? Josh Allen was right there. So by the time it came back around to me in the 3rd round, the middle, Najee Harris was wide open. So I took Najee. When it came back around, my next pick was James Conner. Now, Miles Sanders was also there. So I had my choice between James Conner and Miles Sanders. The reason why at that point I went with Conner is because Sanders sometimes would disappear in games. And now that he's in Carolina, and there's actually some players in Carolina, like Adam Thielen's going to get targets. So it's not going to be a big burden for Miles Sanders to really catch the ball coming out of the backfield. We'll see what goes, but he's got, whether Matt Corral opens up as the starter or if Bryce Young opens up as the starter, somebody's going to kick it down to him eventually, and he can definitely get the job done. You got Hubbard still there. Everything works out for that. I didn't mind that. So I went with Conner, but when it came back around, I couldn't believe it. DeAndre Swift was there. I was like, wait, what? So I grabbed DeAndre Swift. I followed up with George Pickens because, yes, the Pickens was slim at this point, and I followed up with Michael Thomas. At the end of this draft, I ended up picking Tyler Higbee, and my last pick was Van Jefferson. So I was able to get Cooper Kupp, Tyler Higbee, and Van Jefferson in that draft, which are practically bulletproof and helps your team in any way, shape, or form. And how does it help your team, right? Heat override, explain it to us. Well, if Cooper Kupp goes down, you have Van Jefferson. But as my other podcasts, I have talked about that when Van Jefferson had stepped into the role, it still looked like Tyler Higbee was getting the work. So that is why, if for some reason on that team, if I was to draft that team, put money on that team, that having that backup to Cooper Kupp and then having that other scapegoat go with Tyler Higbee also made things a lot better. That's what made that team really unique. But also, having the chance at Najee Harris, James Conner, and DeAndre Swift. And double dipping with the Pickens pick, everything could have went any different way right there. But the fact is that that's not a bad team. So which team do you like more? Do you like team one, McCaffrey, Burrow, Mixon, Ridley, Connor, Freiermuth, Thomas? Or do you like team two from the fifth spot with Kupp, Josh Allen, Najee Harris, James Conner, DeAndre Swift, George Pickens, Michael Thomas? Funny thing is Michael Thomas is down there and someone's going to pick him. And if you can get Michael Thomas to remedy a team like this while being able to get a quarterback like Burrow and Josh Allen, a receiver like Kupp, and a running back like McCaffrey at the beginning, and then followed up with Mixon, both of these teams are very strong. Which one seems like your cup of tea? Leave it in the comments below. Come hit us up at Heat Override on Twitter, at Dr. Roto on Twitter, and get over to the website. Make sure you check out. The stacks were on fire today. Oh, man, they did it. And I had a few people come up a little short. That happens. My picture kind of came through in the end. Luzardo, man. Woo! That's how you do it. That's how you read it. Get the Dr. Roto. Do your optimizers. Get ready for the football season. We'll get you championship ready because we're always ready to show you how to bring the pain. May the points be with you. Ooh, yeah.